How y'all doing? One of the things I would like to touch on is harmony and healing. In harmony and healing, there is a lot of things that we can actually touch on. But one that actually touched me a lot was this one music producer that I really look up to. His name is Needles. Um, Needles, he was studying music at a very young age, and then he got hit with cancer at a young age. But that did not stop him from pursuing his dreams. He continued to pursue his dreams, and when he was doing that, he actually started getting more recognition and starting to make a name for himself. But while he was still making a name for himself, he was still fighting with cancer. And while he was fighting with cancer, he had to deal with needles and different type of things being forced into his body to help him, fight cancer. Um, and while he was still fighting with cancer, he was still practicing and working on his music every day because that's what drove him. That's what was actually, in his mind, healing him. He actually became a Grammy producer. So he just kept on doing it, kept on doing it. Now, at this day, he is no longer fighting with cancer. And he is still doing music. Um, he's actually did work with big name people like 50 Cent, that I believe a lot of y'all already know about. And what he did was continuing to use harmony for healing, which I want to touch on who I did my TED analysis on, Mr. Robert Gupta. And his was actually similar to mine, where mine is harmony and healing. His was music and medicine. Thing about him was he came and started off with music. He started off playing a violin, and you can tell that he was an excellent violin player. He played not even looking at the crowd. Didn't say nothing. Just started his presentation with music. It was soft, it was mellow, but it was yet still emotional. Um, I know that melody will probably be stuck in my head still to when I wake up in the morning. I'll probably be dreaming about it. He also touched on different aspects in his life where he was fighting with things and actually got to speak with people that was actually really sick. He actually got to touch on also dealing with music with autism, and that stuck out to me because I had once did a melody for my nephew who wanted to do a school project. He's actually just now turning 16, but he did a project probably about 2 years ago, and he wanted to do poetry, but he wanted a melody behind it. So I had to think of a soft, smooth melody, and I did it real quick for him. And I went to his house and recorded him. And I say probably halfway through the first take, I noticed he was not nervous. But what I told him was he had to get a little bit closer to the microphone and speak up. So he got closer and he was ready to speak. He actually grabbed the mic and pulled it closer so he understood everything I was talking about. And while I was doing that, it really touched me because the poetry was so deep, but yet it was still so simple. Um, and I've learned that he has no ego whatsoever, but yet he is willing to express himself to everybody. It was more emotional to me. Um, one of the things that Robert Gupta did with his um, body language I seen was he kept one hand in his pocket, but yet speaking, walking around to different people with one hand. He made just that one thing impact to a big crowd of people. Um, Not only that, he was also kept touching on different things from music to medicine to whether it be doctors using it, um, but where he was fighting between music and medicine because he was actually in school for medicine at the time. Um, One of the things I seen was it constantly kept me curious. It made me really think. And then I really started recognizing things that I haven't looked at in a while. Um, was how music is actually used for different things all over. I know sometimes when I'm very upset, I want to listen to some music just to get away from everybody. I look at things like Bible scriptures where they would sing and make walls come down. I would notice how even music has been good and bad in biblical days. If you know anything really about Satan, you know that he had a beautiful voice. He can sing. His vocals was a beautiful instrument, but he wanted to think of himself with too high of an ego. That's why he got cast down. And then not only that, if you really get through the Bible and read to when you get in Revelations, you'll notice that when the trumpets blow, that the chosen will come back. And when I say chosen, I say the ones that have chose Christ and continue to follow Him. Um, I really did really appreciate what Ruta did. One of the things that he definitely touched on a lot was emotion because it had you constantly going up and down on a roller coaster ride. I'm really grateful and thankful for that. I really hope that I will continue to watch this even after this presentation so I can learn more. I really thank y'all for being with me, and I hope we will have more harmony and healing.